Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shadavia and this is She Budgets, where we talk about all things money, budgeting, and savings related. So if that's content you're into, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, but don't forget your notification bell so you don't miss the next time I post. By the title of today's video, you can see we're going to be talking about how to balance debt, savings, and investing, but also being on a debt-free journey. Now, you're going to want to go ahead and grab a pen and paper to take notes because today's video is going to be super informative, I promise you. Now, if you're like most people, you have a variety of debt. Some of us have student loans, car loans, credit cards, mortgages, and some of us, like myself, have all of the above. So when you are working to just pay off those debts, but also save for, a rainy day fund or even your future self, so saving and putting money aside for retirement, it can be hard to kind of balance it all. So just trying to juggle it all can be stressful and overwhelming even at times. And if you're not even sure where to start, then it could just make matters worse. So hopefully by the end of today's video, we'll be able to decide which of these you kind of want to prioritize and tackle first, whether that's going to be paying off debt, saving some money, or investing. So the way that I am going to break this down is going to be in kind of 7 different steps / categories / things to kind of think about. But the way to balance between your debt, saving, investing, the first one should really go without saying, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways, and I'm going to write it down. So the first thing that you need to make sure that you're doing or that you do is going to be make minimum payments. And we know that it does not stop there, but that is the start. The first thing that you want to make sure is no matter what your other financial priorities are, make sure you are making at least those minimum payments. And the big emphasis is that even though you're making the minimum payments, make sure you're paying them on time. So keeping those debts into good standing really does help protect yourself, protect your credit score, and it also helps you kind of avoid increasing your debt. So we know with those late payments come late fees and even more interest, and we don't want that for ourselves because then we could possibly reach a point where there's no return. And so we don't want to do that. So making those minimum payments, again, can also help us in the scenario that these expenses or these debts get out of control where you may have to file bankruptcy. And I know bankruptcy is not all bad. There are some success stories there, but if we can actually avoid filing for bankruptcy and taking control of our finances, then we want to do that the best way that we can. So the first one, again, the first tip or thing to think about is going to be making at least the minimum payments on all your debts on time. The second thing that you want to think of or to consider is going to be build a cash reserve. Okay, awesome. So once you have that cash, once you've been able to balance or keep up with these minimum payments here in that first step or your minimum obligations, then you want to make sure that you build up a cash reserve. Now, this is going to help you out in case of emergency or for those unexpected expenses. So you can do this second step or second tip in 1 or 2 ways. You can do a cash buffer in your checking account, and that's ideally just leaving some cash in there for those unexpected bills, or you can look at this cash reserve as your emergency fund. Now, in this step or in this tip, you don't want to fully fund your emergency fund because we're going to take care of some other things before that. But I'll go over that a little bit later. So if you are doing an account buffer, I would say start with about $300 or so. And if you're gonna go saving for the starter emergency fund, save at least $1,000. Now, my opinion would be to do the emergency fund, so if there are a few slip ups or bumps that come up, then you're not stressed or missing out on bills or payments because you have this emergency coming up and you just don't know how you're going to take care of it. Now, having a cash reserve is also going to allow you just some form of wiggle room in your day-to-day. So again, for those unexpected expenses not being so hurtful or harmful to your budget. Not saying that everything is absolutely going to be covered, but a majority of it will be taken care of with your cash reserve. So go ahead and make sure you have that or you're working on that. The next thing that you want to kind of consider when deciding which debt, savings, or investing you want to prioritize is going to be taking advantage of your 401k match with your employer. So, and I say this because your employer's match is basically free money on the table. There are stipulations that come with that, but we don't want to leave that free money on the table. With this, you'll make sure that you also look into like the longevity or how long you have to be with your company to actually receive those funds. But if it's a company that that you enjoy working for and you want to take advantage of this free money, then make sure you go ahead and do that. I know my employer personally, they actually contribute 3% for each employee, regardless if they choose to do the 401k now. So that's 3% off top, and then they do up to 6%. So that's what I take advantage of, again, because I know my company is one that I plan on being with for a very long time, so I am definitely taking advantage of that. But again, just look into your company or your employer to see what the requirements are, how much they match. I know some companies do like up to 4% or 6%. Just look into your own specifics when it comes to that. So that's the third kind of tip or thing to think about. Now, once we have all of the three other things taken care of, you should be working on your fourth step, which is going to be paying off your credit card debt. So credit card debt. Okay, and so if you've been carrying over a balance month to month, you kind of want to start knocking away this credit card debt. Now, to do that, you can either opt to do the snowball method, which would mean that you would start chipping away at those balances, starting from the smallest balance to the largest balance. So you're going to make a minimum payment on everything except for the smallest balance. And then once that's paid off, you're just going to roll that payment to your second card. And then again, just keep going, so on and so forth. Now, another option that you could, or another route that you could go when it comes to paying off your credit card debt, is trying the debt avalanche method. Now, the debt avalanche method is the method where you would actually pay off your highest interest rate card first and then work your way on, so on and so forth. Now, my recommendation, if you guys want that, and something that I'm doing personally myself, is that I like the debt snowball method. For more of an instant gratification, I feel like it gives me the motivation that I need to actually keep going and just knowing that I'm making those strides towards becoming debt free. If that's something that you would enjoy as well, I highly suggest you go with the debt snowball method versus the debt avalanche method. But whichever one of these methods that's going to keep you motivated and keep you motivated and just feeling like you're accomplishing your goals, then just go with what works best for you. Alrighty, so now that we've made the minimum payments, we build up a cash reserve, we took advantage of that 401k match, and then we've started to pay off our credit card debt. The next thing that we want to do is now we're going to fully fund our emergency fund. So fully fund our emergency fund. So this is ideally where a lot of people kind of go between step 4 and step 5, or tip 4 and 5, because they want to save and they also want to pay off debt at the same time. And then some people will tell you, well, no, just pay off all your debt first and then you can save. It really just depends on what your priorities are and how you actually want to do it. There's not a wrong or a right way to do it. Myself personally, I have credit card debt. I have one credit card that I am currently working to pay off, but I also save funds as well. And sometimes I feel like that I should just put all the money towards my debt instead of savings, but I'm one of those people that like to hoard money. And I don't know if it's just because I just like the idea of having a lot of money, but some people will even say, like, you don't really have that money if you still have debt, which is 100% true. But again, everybody chooses to do their finances different, and there's, again, not a wrong or a right way to do these things. So again, in their tip number 5, when you're fully funding your emergency fund or rainy day fund, you should be aiming from anywhere to save from anywhere from 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. Now, this will take you a while, and depending on your income level, it may take you a year or two. But this is very, very important because this is your safety net. So this will protect you when there are things that come up in life, and that you don't have to fall back on your credit cards due to maybe a job loss, medical expenses, or just any of the other curveballs that life kind of throws at us. So again, right here, having a fully funded emergency fund is really going to help out a lot. Again, just preventing yourself from going back into further debt, and then you can still stay the course on being able to save or invest your money. Now, the 6th tip, or the 6th thing to kind of think about, is going to be whether you should invest or pay off debt. Pay off debt. So here, this is where it kind of gets good, I guess, or it gets easier, and it's more of a preference. So right in this step, or in this phase, you're kind of already taking care of your more pressing financial issues. So you've taken care of the minimum payments, you have a cash reserve, you paid off your credit card debts, you have a fully funded emergency fund. Now you kind of have that flexibility, I guess you can say, whether you want to invest all of your money or pay off all your debt. And so this is going to be things like your mortgages, your car loans, maybe some personal loans, student loans, whatever it is, that other debt that you have to take care of. Now, here is where I would make the decision on, based off, again, your priorities, but also if you have any debt that is more than 6%. So if there's any debt that you have that's more than 6%, then I personally would focus on paying off those debts first before I started to invest. Now, just from my own personal experience, is that I did start investing into a Roth IRA this year, and I decided to pull back on that, not because I don't want to save for my future, but because I'm already contributing to my 401k and I still have debt, and my goal is to eliminate as much, or if not all, of my debt before I can fully start investing, because I want to be able to invest a significant amount of my income towards, my future retirement, but I can't necessarily do that right now because I'm still making debt payments. So again, this is more so your personal preference and just based off of your priority as well. So if you're okay with, making those minimum payments, then, and you rather, invest for your future, then go ahead and go for it. But if you're like myself and you want to just eliminate all of your debt first and then focus on investing, again, you can do that. It's all about a personal preference, and that's pretty much it, like whatever you prefer. So the last one on the to-do list, or things to actually think about, is going to be working on your other savings goals. There we are. So we all know that we have a goal of being debt-free and financial free, but you may have some other savings goals that you want to accomplish. Maybe you want to save for a down payment or a future home, or you want to save for your kids' future, or you want to create some sinking funds for some upcoming vacations. Whatever it is, once your debt and your savings are in a good position, then you can add money towards those other financial goals. You don't have to just stop there. You have the extra cash. If you have the extra cash, I say go for it. You know, set those goals and then put that money to where you can actually reward yourself for all the hard work that you've done along your journey. Now, again, you don't have to necessarily just stop here with these 7 things, but I feel like these are a lot of things that you should consider when you're trying to decide which to tackle first, whether that's going to be debt, savings, or investing, because again, you have your debt payments that you're taking care of, you have your savings that you're taking care of, and if you have free money left over, you can do absolutely whatever you want to. But again, don't forget to be intentional with your money and don't just waste your money. Long story short. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. I told you it was going to be super informative. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, again, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who you think could find it helpful. Let me know in the comments which one of these are you prioritizing. Are you prioritizing paying off debt, saving, or are you prioritizing investing? Also, leave a money emoji after your comment as well, and that lets me know that you made it all the way to the end of today's video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Don't forget your notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.